Good day, Bermuda. Thank you for giving me this time to speak to you about our first 10 months of our legislative year after having the elections in 2012 of December. It was very important for us to understand that moving forward, we must restore and renew our country. Our legislative year was very aggressive. Our ministers worked very, very hard. And I'm proud to say that 90% of our accomplishments within 10 months has been taken place. When we take a look at where we were in 2012 of December coming into the election, we had a situation where unemployment was at unprecedented rates. We recognize that we had investors who had left the island. We had Bermudians who were emigrating as well. And so the question being asked was, why should a student, a Bermuda student who's gone away and gotten an education, come back to Bermuda? Why should the investor looking onto Bermuda also invest in the country? And the businesses that existed here, why should they stay here? And so as a government, it was important that we answered those questions. And so very quickly we understood that we needed to put in place policies that were going to invigorate the market, policies that were going to restore and renew the country, policies that were going to put jobs back on the table. Our foundation of who we are has been unraveled, and we needed to lay a foundation to ensure that we get jobs back on the table. And that's why immediately we sat upon listening to the stakeholders and putting in place those things that we felt were necessary to keep investment here and to also ensure that we have investment coming into the country and that our Bermudians who were abroad would see Bermuda as a viable place to once again come back and be a part of the economy. So we started out with term limits, and that was very important because we recognized that it was aggravating the international community here. And so we embarked upon understanding that we needed to do something about this here. We certainly, with our finance minister, understood that we needed to lower our tax when it came to our properties and being able to acquire property in Bermuda, knowing that with these acquisitions of property, renovations would need to be done. That's why the finance minister also said for hiring Bermudians for the first 2 years that there would be a tax exemption there. These were important things that we needed to put in place. The Job Creators Act that we put in place, the Tourism Authority Act that we put in place, the casino, the Cruise Ship Casino Act, that piece of legislation. These were important things to ensure that we got revenue coming into the country and that we restored and renewed Bermuda to a position whereby people would want to come back. Bermudians would want to come back. Investors who left would want to come back. And investors who hadn't quite been to Bermuda yet would see us as a viable option. There is no job until we get investment into the country, and we must understand that. Our GDP is in the negative figures, and I wanted to give you some stark realities of numbers. When you take the consideration that we've got thousands, 7,000, 8,000, depending on who you talk to, of people who have emigrated, whether it's Bermudians or whether it is foreigners who have left the country. When you take into consideration our unemployment at unprecedented rates in the thousands, this is money that is out of circulation within our economy. And so if you just take 2,000 people who have left the island and you multiply that by about $1,500 per week that they probably spent to rent, groceries, electricity, going out to restaurants, supporting the economy, that money now multiplied by the 2,000, we're at $3 million out of the economy. At the end of the year, we are at a whopping $150 million plus that is out of circulation. That's money that goes towards ensuring that our entrepreneur realizes his dream. That's money that is gone out of the economy that ensures that our students come back to a viable place where they can find employment. So it was important that first of all, we put in place this first legislative year those incentives that will get investment back into the country, because there is no Bermuda dollar unless we have that U.S. investment dollar coming into the economy. We will not move our GDP out of negative figures until we get more people into the country, paying into the coffers of government, paying and circulating money amongst the entrepreneurs that are here, paying and circulating money amongst the retail operations that are here to ensure that we all move forward to a better Bermuda. And so we've got a lot of work to do, and we're certainly not out of the woods as yet. There's so much more that's going to need to be done. We've got to be more efficient. We've got to be more friendly to the investors to ensure that they bring those monies here. And we've got to move ourselves in a position to whereby we can help Bermudians who are in need. At this present time, there is no money. That is the reality. And so being able to assist and to help has become very difficult. We need to move ourselves into a position whereby those who are in need get the help that they need to survive in Bermuda. And so there are many more things that we want to accomplish in our next legislative agenda. And so this coming year, there's going to have to be moving of some really big things. We're going to have to be making some really tough decisions to get us back again into a position whereby all of us rise as we get the investment into the country. It is vital that we all understand that we have no real natural resources of our own. And so we have to rely on the investment coming into the country to fuel our economy. This is a global economy that we're competing against. And so we must do everything possible to incentivize that investment. And so as we move forward, I want you to know that jobs are still number one on the table, which is why we've made the moves that we made. We have the SAGE Commission that is in place right now who will be coming to us and looking at us about efficiencies and how we can streamline process, and we will be moving forward in this next year. Bermuda, we are on the right track. We are moving in the right direction. More businesses are registering than since 2007 and 2008. The Consumer Confidence Index is up. We are moving in the right direction, and this government will ensure that we make decisions that are not in the interest of politics, but that are in the interest of moving all Bermudians forward. Thank you, and have a good day, Bermuda. We certainly we knew that we had a tough task ahead of us, and that's why this legislative agenda was aggressive. And I can assure the parliamentarians as we go into this next year, I want them to know live that we will be looking again to having more sessions than normal to ensure that people understand we know that there's an urgency and that we've got to get things moving. And so I'd like to have gotten more things done. We've done, I believe, a stellar job of moving forward this country to get investment back here. Are there things that I maybe regret? Maybe that's what you're asking. No, certainly not. I believe that we have done a great job with getting Bermuda on the right path to recovery. We're all looking for a light at the end of the tunnel. And certainly as we move along, we will look at opportunities. There may be some adjustments that we need to make with the budget that will continue to assist our people who are in need, and we will make those adjustments. The key really is that a job is the best social program that we have. We've got to get these jobs back on the table so that people can be a viable part of the economy, spending once again on what's most important, each other. Yes, the referendum will happen within early new year, January, February. We would love for our students to be here, of course, so we're looking at the timeline. What we are working on right now, the Gaming Committee, is making sure that we give you a model that Bermuda can move forward with. We've never really seen a model, and that's what the Gaming Committee has been working on. That will be coming forward very, very, very soon, but the referendum will most likely happen within January, February.